All right, there we go. Howdy, everyone. It's Crow's Nest No Quarter, episode 61. I thought since the Dev's Diary came out, I would call this one Doodles' Diary of Doo-Doo. It took me a lot to think
I was actually not going to come, and then I saw the name, and I'm like, I have to come
today. Anyway, so the stupid 5-year-old title is my fault, as it always is. But anyway, so we'll say howdy to everyone, and I'm just going to go across my screen. The link's in the YouTube chat if you want to come and join us and talk about all this stuff. So I'll do Damnation first. Why not? Howdy. No, he's not going to talk.
Howdy. I had to get to my unmute button.
Very good. And we've got Watchman.
Hi, everyone.
We've got Russ Crow.
Good evening, everyone.
We've got Shane Howe.
Hello, peoples.
And we've got Simba Dakota.
Hello.
And we got me, RB. So I will let you all start talking, and I'll quickly mute myself so I can switch it back over to YouTube. So I don't know if you want to start off on VXP or...
Actually, I would like to start off by saying you gave me all that shit about that episode we called Weasley's Got Himself a Howler, and somebody in the chat just said this is the best title since that one. So...
Very good. All right. So take it away, people.
All right, I'll go first. Mine's short and sweet. I only had the Rock Ring Saturn to rank up, and I got it fully ranked within 3 targets using the my other Saturns. I've only got 2 other Saturns, and I used them singly as a tank to guide everybody to come over to me while I hid in the shroud cloud with the rock ring. And I only have like one of the scatter guns on it, but it's the new one out of the FM, that powerful one. And it seemed to do pretty good. But 3 targets, didn't ever have to repair the rock ring Saturn, although it was about dead by the time I got done with the 3rd target with a few mistakes in there. But fully ranked within 3 targets, I was really impressed. So that I didn't have to spend no coin doing it. But now I'm sitting on like a 4-hour repair waiting on everything to get finished, but I'm done. And I'm done.
I mean, 4 hours repairs isn't too bad, really. So.
No.
Not at all.
No, as far as I can tell, I definitely took I got VXP from the buildings and the turrets, so that's new for me, and that was a pleasant surprise. I can deal with this way moving forward. I did a little different technique. I used the Rock Ring Saturn. I put it with the Praetorians, the 4 Praetorians, I believe that's how you say it, and I drove the Rock Ring behind them. They're blank with only 1 rocket on each hull. However, that 1 rocket was enough to take down all the turrets and the buildings, per se, in the target. It was not enough to do anything to the ships or the ghost crawler. So the rock ring right behind the fleet, as the others autoed, worked really well. I can't recall how many targets it took, but I didn't really. I mean, I was impressed with how they did rank, being that they had so many armor points, and I was happy.
I went my own unique way.
No.
Four Praetorians. They've only got one weapon on them, but they would kill all the turrets, and then just let them die. Basically, I just let them die. It did take a while for them to actually die, but then I'd go in and tidy the the target up with my Saturns and take the free, so it respawns a 98 and get, the free tokens as well. But I was with a triple salty on. I was getting about 94k VXP per target across 4 Praetorians. So I had to hit, I think 5, but obviously only repair on 4. But I run a grease monkey in the base, so it got it done reasonably quickly. It was done in under an hour. So and so that
8 coins.
Hmm?
On it. I think I spent 8 coins.
Yeah, I spent about 40, but because I had to repair 4 times, and the last one I could give it let it
Right.
just sat there on a long repair. You know what I mean? Well, I just dropped it back in with the grease monkeys, and that took half the time off anyway. But just didn't coin that one because I already ranked. But yeah, I'm happy they're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, basically painless.
Yeah, the getting VXP for buildings is such a good thing. It's like it took them so long to manage to do it that it makes such a difference. So I've been pretty slack. I haven't really done too much. I think I'm on 50% or something like that. So I kind of did it both ways. So I did one lot with taking out all the ships with my Nemis, and then just went around and did the buildings. And then I decided I was bored doing that because it was going to take too long and it was kind of wasting crews, and I don't know, I just wasn't really interested in it. So because I'm doing 4 Praetorians, and they've got 2 rockets on each. So in the end, I just drove around with Praetorians and, hummed the Benny Hill theme and just ran around in circles, and just, took out all the turrets with this procession of bloody subs going around behind me, and that was fine. And, it kind of got me to 50%, but I'll finish it up in a bit. So I thought I would just chuck a Nemi in there and do it that way. So I'd have 1 Nemi and 4 Praetorians. Use the Nemi to take out the subs, just to try and speed it up a bit, because I don't want fucking doing this forever. So, and given that I'm not really too fussed at getting them sculled this particular time anyway, I figured that'll do. So.
I think you're going to be happy when you end up doing it that way. I think you'll end up sculling them.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah.
I mean, you won't have to repair. So
well, it's amazing how much those Praetorians will take. It's just that they don't, they obviously don't do anything to the subs, which is kind of in the arse.
Yeah, I mean, on the second 98, the Praetorians they're up to 60%.
Mm-hmm.
That was using a triple salty, but they're taking out every building in the in the actual 98 on their own, and after eating 2 of the 98s, they're already on 60%. So it's quite good, but it is if you've got to repair them, I suppose some people it's quite expensive.
What about you?
I forgot to mention on mine, I was every time I'd kill 2 ships, I would jump out of battle and come back in.
Mm-hmm.
As also, I think what gave me a lot of boon, and I did it all within 1 triple salty dog crew. I forgot to mention that on mine.
Cool. Simber, have you done any of it?
I ranked one of my ships, my second raid fleet ship, the lead. Otherwise, I haven't really done much of anything.
Cool. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the how it goes going forward. Doing doing these fleets from here because I think everyone's sort of got a bit of a mixed bag of what's being ranked and what's not and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I didn't see there was much point in fully suiciding the Praetorians. There was, I found from last time that I made the mistake of not putting an engine on, so I made sure that I put engines on this time, and it's because of all the rough wall sections and stuff in these targets. You can outrun them fairly easily if you. I'd just put speed system 6 on there, knowing that I was going to refit it anyway. So it was really just to get them ranked. So. Cool. Anyone else got anything to say about VXP, or shall we move on? It's not
Well,
exciting.
I wanted to touch on it. I do hope that this is going to be like a standard moving forward, that buildings will have VXP, because this kind of changes the way I'm going to build things moving forward. It's no longer the blank hull with the thud. I definitely need something to kill a building. You know what I mean? So it'd be nice to know if these were here to stay, or it's a one-time deal, or what. But like, I don't know. I'm happy, and so hopefully we show pleased with it, that they keep it. But that's not always how it works here.
if you show them you're pleased with something, it's gone.
Right.
Quite often.
We have listened to the community and we've taken it away.
On that note, this is the worst fucking VXP weekend ever. I hope we never see another one like it.
Right.
Since they listen to what we say.
You know they don't. They do the opposite.
That's right.
That was the point.
Yeah, I was thinking when I did it, I've had much worse VXP experiences than this one, so I can live with this. It is what it is, and I guess it's tricky if you've got different ships to rank up, but I've certainly had a lot worse and slower experiences than this, so I'm overall pretty happy with it.
I'm actually doing it right now to get my one FM hull going. Got the other one building still.
Yeah, and I'll be finishing it off after the show because I may as well, do it while I can. It's probably the most important part.
Yeah, I mean, I say if you was running the crew, they were giving out a reasonable amount of VXP. So, it's as you said, it's been a lot worse in the past. It has taken a lot longer. So,
Sorry, I was just reading chat to see what people are saying there as well. Same sort of thing, Cuttlefish does point out that it's the last VXP of this style, so I guess that would be.
So
I guess that would be right. Well, I mean, they just need to make sure that if they do it this way, that there's VXP in the buildings. It's not hard to do. We saw that with the siege ones, that we kept on saying that they were no good, and then they finally did start putting VXP in those in the Reaver holes. So they've shown they can do it. So really, there's no excuse anymore to not have any VXP in the buildings. So. Is my opinion. All right, so we may as well go on to the diary. So has everyone seen this yet or not?
No.
All right, I guess I better share it then.
Yeah, I have seen it, yeah.
All right. Oh, I guess I better actually work out how to do this. All right.
Screen share.
Yeah. Whoa, there we go. We'll freak everybody out for a while, give them some headaches. All right.
You just sent me into a seizure.
Hey, what's a hangout without a seizure? And we'll blow it up a little bit so we can see it. All right, so this is Golden Doodle's post of where we're going and what the plans are for July. So the first thing I'll say is it's the whiteboard pin-up board again, where instead of actually having a plan, we're going to swap around and change it to whatever we feel like we want it to be, and blah 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 blah. So basically, I'll let you all read it for yourselves. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's kind of up to you if you want to be advised as what's going on is to look this stuff up. But anyway, it's they're saying that again something's fundamentally flawed. So this team's now been in for what? Is it 9 months? What are we now? 7 months?
Can I make a recommendation?
Sure.
Why don't you just take each section, kind of briefly hit the bullet points in it, and then we can talk about each section as we go. That way people are informed, plus we get to give our opinions at the same time.
Or you could just continue doing a weekly show. But anyway, never mind. So the current the current system has a number of key defining characteristics. 3-month duration, 2 hulls intended to be of equivalent power, and raid targets that are entirely one silo. So in other words, one style. I saw a few people losing their head on the word silo, but basically they're saying one style. So while it's predictable, it's fundamentally flawed. That it creates these undesirable, in very big quotes, outcomes that they want completing a full fleet to be your season's goal, but this means that build times are high. There's the friction point of the first event of the season, blah, blah, blah. While they try to make both hulls even in terms of power and ability, 100% balanced experience hasn't always been the case. Shit. The targets from the top to the bottom are extremely similar, designed for the same hulls. Over months, this gets boring. After 3 months conclude, the utility of your hulls falls off a cliff when the raid style changes. They become less useful than hulls released a year ago, which match the new raid style. And the relationship between 1 hull and 2 hulls is awkward and unsatisfying. Should you get both? Is it worthwhile? None of these questions are enjoyable, and none of the answers are fun. So what do you all think about those statements?
Well, first of all, I would say that anybody who says that my hull stops being useful after 3 months definitely does not play this game real time, real life on the real life server, and have to do all the fucking chores that we have to do. I mean, to say that my hull becomes basically useless after 3 months is the biggest load of fucking poppycock I've ever heard in my life.
Apparently they're not doing the daily chores. They're just worried about the monthly raids.
Oops.
Sorry, Simba.
That's all good. No, they're not realizing. I mean, every time we end a new cycle, they're converting not the last one before that into that type that you need.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's exactly how Damnation said. It's like, well, that's why the targets were moved to map targets, so we got to continue to use the hulls, and you could continue to work on the hulls because we actually had time to continue to work on the hulls. And part of me wonders now that because of the upgrades, if they, I don't know, just like none of this makes sense to me at all, because if the the truth is what Golden Doodle was saying. It's like, well, why are we using, anything? Why are we using manticores for people who don't have stuff, have the Nemis or the Saturns now? It's just ludicrous statements, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
Well, I mean, if they're worried about the people not having their holes done or being able to start on the next hole because they got to finish their last hole going into the next raid cycle, and they're going to keep, the last cycle's targets in this next one. I mean, if they're still working on that last hole, they're even going to get a later start on the hole that's current. So, I mean, they're still steadily going to fall behind if they're not able to even keep caught up with all the extra parts and all that stuff they throw at us to keep continually refitting the ships every season.
Yeah.
I'll direct it. We want completing a full fleet to be your season's goal. However, to make the goal persist for 3 months, build times need to be relatively high. Straight bullshit. Straight nonsense bullshit. That's straight up. That's not. Build times could be instant, and the game would continue. They don't need to be relatively high for anyone. Not for me, for sure. Matter of fact, more content out there, more people engaged, more use of the item. That's a nonsense statement.
Yep.
Build time to be lowered for more activity.
And I like how, they have effectively raised the build time of fleets by 55 days because all the upgrades they put in. And, anybody who says the targets aren't tuned for upgrades, that's absolutely ludicrous. All you have to do is look at what kind of difference the Tier 3 rock ring Saturn made in the Saturn targets. I mean, it could literally kill the fucking subs before they came out of Shroud. So to tell me that these targets aren't tuned for those upgrades is absolutely ridiculous. So you can't add 55 days to my fleet build time and then reduce each hull by a day and then act like I'm supposed to cheer you for it. I mean, you add 55 days, but you take away 5 days. Well, what the fuck, dude? That is so fucking what?
Yeah, well, I think we all want to be able to only have to build one fleet for the vast majority, but from the wording, it looks like what they're going to do is take it down to virtually a 2-month cycle. And because it says, it's significant value beyond 3 months, we believe this is possible. And they want to take it down, And the only way to take it down from less than 3 months is to take it down to 2 months. And at the moment, we're still, even building one fleet is impossible. It's tricky to get that done in 3 months with everything they're asking us to do, let alone doing it in 2 months, even with a 15% reduction, because they're talking about having maybe 2 different kinds of hulls. So the premium hull would still be the one that would probably get the least reduction, obviously, because that's the way they work. Yeah. Now, on a 20-day build, a 15% reduction is only 3 days. So if it was 20 days per build previously, you'd only be taking 15 days off. That would still be 85 days to build in under 60.
Yeah.
So
and
you've still got 20 plus days unaccounted for.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be I guess we'll scroll down through the rest of this as well, but there's been a few people that have been slapping their EP and saying, well, you only need 2 ships and blah, 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 blah. However,
Are you calling out Luke Rainsford?
He's not the only one. So I try not to name names, but anyway.
I will.
Yeah, I know that. But we have seen in the past where, that's not always successful. It's like it's hitting one target. So you've got to hit that target over and over and over again, which is grindy and boring. This is Golden Doodle's own words that, we don't want you hitting the one target over and over and over and over and over. And you as players don't want to hit one target over and over and over. So, and I know certainly Damnation, when you did it with the Eradicators, it was only because that's all you had ready. So, you used the lead to do all the work and have the forward making the buff in the background. And, they soon put a stop to that. So by having subs that would chase you into clouds and all the rest of the bullshit that they pulled. So, they don't want us to be able to succeed that way. So to be able to say that, everything's okay because, you're in your secret groups in Discord and you only need 2 ships is just bullshit. And it's not serving the community any good at all. But anyway, never mind. So I guess we'll continue on again. So their solutions to this is that there's going to be no more PvE seasons, that the styles are staggered with multiple styles available at any given time. I kind of like that, but it has bigger issues. Significantly lower build times on PvE hulls while increasing the lifespan of a fleet from its current 3+ months of value. I'm pretty sure you just said that they're no good after a season. So anyway, and changing the model from 2 equal hulls per silo to 1 superior hull and 1 specialized hull. For fuck's sake. All right. So then it talks about the build times and everything. So, the current range they're discussing is as low as a 15% reduction for certain hulls and as high as 50% reduction for others. Uneven hull power. By presenting players with 2 hulls to choose from, you have to pick blindly, not knowing which one will be better. I'm going to stop right there because who made that decision of how we play? I don't think it was us. So again, they're solving their problems that they've already created. Anyway, so to solve for that, they'll present a primary and a supplementary hull. The primary will be more powerful and have more use. The supplementary is much more specialized but has shorter build times. This way, your investment in hulls is always worthwhile.
Can we stop right there?
Yep.
Can we stop right there for a minute?
Yep.
Here's my question. If you're going to have the one primary hull, which is going to be the good one, why do you even need a second one? Why to have people build one that's going to cause them to take more damage and have a less than satisfying game experience? And chase them away from the game? Haven't we already chased enough people away from the game? Do we need to send people down that path?
Yeah. You have option A, which is get the good one and coin it, spend the money up front, or option B, get the weak one and coin the damage at the other end.
I'm with the Damnation on this.
Either way, they're thinking that they'll still make money out of it.
But it's not how they don't play the game, because there's so many players out here that are going to only get option A, and they aren't going to get the special for option A. They aren't going to get the right weapon for option A. They're not going to get the right build for option A. They're going to be slow. They're going to be left behind on option A. There's going to be 50% that don't have the one fleet done like up to par.
You don't need both. That's the point. That's what they're saying. You don't need both.
But I'm saying I don't think the community will have the one on. You know what I mean? And in the general community, we're the top end players here.
Yeah. Speak for yourself.
But we are. Don't I mean? And so think about. I'm just throwing it out. Think about the players that don't. They really did spend as much time away from their wife they could on the whole raid, and they got the one haul, and they just didn't get a special. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But they're grinding, and they're still grinding because they love the game. They're addicted to, and they're trying with that one haul, but they don't have that special. So now you're going to make them get a whole new haul that's crap? Nah, bad idea.
The way I'm taking, this supplementary hull that they're wanting to throw in there and calling it specialized, to me, that's like, okay, we're going to give you this shittier hull and give you more restrictions on it. To be honest, it's just going to get them players further behind because what they need is the primary hull.
Or
to
there
make
could be
their way
another
through
of
it
doing
up, and then you're just going to get. I mean, they call it specialized, but I'm reading it's more restricted, or going to be, of weaker
It'll take more
value.
damage.
I
It'll take more damage, basically. So
and I mean, the person wants the better hull to be able to excel. And I mean, you're just throwing shit in there to get them further behind. I mean, they have no idea what the hell they're doing. Where we can see right through it,
Yeah, it's, I don't know. So I guess the example would be that, say you missed, the first raid of a series. So you're like, shit, panic. All right, so that's not going to work anyway, because the whole implementation, I'm just trying to work out how
it would be beneficial.
Yeah, and I can't see any way.
No.
Well, and like the total screwed up part about it is that now instead of your top hull being useful for 3 raids, it's only going to be useful for 2 raids. Doing top targets, because the first raid of the cycle, they're not even going to have targets at the top tier available for that hull. It's going to be for the hull from the last raid. So you're only going to be able to use that hull for top tier targets for the second and third raid of the cycle, and then after that, you're just going to be able to use it on A sets or the next set down for the next raid cycle.
Right.
I mean, this is an idiotic implementation. The answer to this whole entire thing is so fucking simple, and it's what we've been telling them for years and years and years. And I know this team has heard it tons of times. I know Robot, who designs the targets, has heard it directly from me, from George, from all kinds of people that were on test servers. Stop designing the top end targets in the first raid to be built for an entire fucking fleet. That's the simple answer to this whole fucking problem. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're 100% right, and it's like, it's almost, I don't know. It just does my fucking head in that it's this complicated, and they've got to come up with these stupid solutions all the time, because it is just so simple. If you're going back to the initial part of all this, it's like, don't give me a choice then. Just bring out one hull. That's it. Keep it at 3 months. Just bring out one hull. Don't give me a choice. I don't want a choice. If this is what it, if they can't balance things, and they've shown with these targets definitely that they can't balance, and Chris was saying, 100 minutes of repairs fine for the other, for one target, and 400 is fine for the other. And I know they're only numbers, but they weren't that far off for some people.
Well, that's the thing, though. They're not only numbers for those of us who play real time. They're not only numbers. They come down to actual tangible money.
But that's the whole point. I mean, we're obviously looking at it from our perspective, what we'd like it to be. But from their perspective, they need to make money. They want to make money.
Dude, I don't even want to hear fucking shit.
The more they push, the less they're making.
They're still the top 18 gross.
So the point is that
don't tell me they ain't making no fucking money.
The way they put it out there is you can have the long build, but you're going to have to coin it and pay it up front, or you have the supplementary one, which will build in time for the raid, but you will probably take more damage, so they'll get money on the back end. So either way, they're hoping you're going to spend money one way or the other. Yeah, and from a business perspective, they don't want to give you a free ride.
So another way of looking at this is they want you to go ahead and build that supplementing hull instead of using last year's hull, which you already have built.
Yeah,
which is a crock. I mean, I don't want to have to build a supplementary hull just so I can do this next raid before I can start building that damn hull I actually need.
And you won't have time to do it if you do choose to do it that way. Because
then you're going to go into the next raid season building last raid season's hull.
That's right. That's exactly right. And, Watchman's right. They're not going to give us a free ride. However, the whole point to all of this is that, this would actually work if there were no, you know, if the raid targets stayed the same for the whole season. But we know that that doesn't happen. You know, every raid, the targets get harder. And they should, you know, because you should be a little bit further on. You know, you should be, your goal by the end should be to have a fully functioning fleet. But it doesn't actually have to have, you know, every single bell and whistle on. It should be enough to do your raid and do the map targets that are put on the map. You know, it's been this way for years, and it's not just about, oh, I'm scared of change and, you know, all that bullshit. It's, again, use my tongue. Fundamentally changing things that don't need to be changed. It's like they're just trying to fuck with us every time and push a little bit harder and push a little bit harder. And, oh, you know, we've gone on from one drama, you know, like we've said, and then, oh, we better give them another drama. We better cause some more confusion. We better do this. We better do that. It's just...
The big problem is what I've seen, you know, in multiple different places that I've talked to these guys, is the sheer level of hubris that they have, thinking they know better everything. For an idea to be good, it has to have been their idea. They won't even take ideas that previous teams had that were good and use them just because they're not their idea. You know, I mean, and that's the big downfall of this whole team is what I'm seeing.
Yeah. And, you know, we know they're there to make money. There's so many opportunities for them to make money. You know, we've said, you know, they're still grossing lots of money. They're not hurting in any way, shape, or form, and all the sob stories they've told. And, you know, like we've said, the players are our own worst enemies for this. There's no doubt about that. But you're still going to get the people that blitz the leaderboard. You're still going to get people that blitz to get the, you know, to get the fleet out at the start. If the targets stayed the same for the whole thing, you know, you could possibly implement that, but we know that that's not going to be the case. And now with all the upgrades and the limited shards of limited specials and limited armors and limited everything else, this is just, you know, it's almost like it's the final nail. It's, you know, they're trying to hurry it up so they don't have to be held accountable for the HTML5 and all that sort of stuff. So anyway.
Well, if they want to make money, if they'd loosen their grip and listen to reasonable players, you'd be surprised how much money they would make.
Mm-hmm.
I don't honestly think it's a money issue. I think it's a lack of interest. In all honesty, I think that possibly this game's on the back burner. And, you know,
2020 is coming. I mean, Flash is going to die. So,
well, I would have preferred it to go into, you know, its rest mode before it got messed up so bad. You know, I mean, in all honesty, I wish it would have been left alone prior to refactor. Since refactor, shit, the game sucks. I mean, that's the truth. The PvP side sucks. The number of players that are in the game are drastically less, and if they're not, that's crazy and that's nonsense. And one player's running 3-4 bases, and, you know, of the old players that are out there. So they might see some activity, but it's not the same number of players for sure. And so I don't understand.
And we've already seen one of the big hitters get banned for doing chargebacks. So I wonder how many other people are paying on the chargeback dime for all this time.
Yeah.
Right.
It was obviously a significant enough problem for them to literally stop it dead. So
they had to change the game for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there was probably a lot of legitimate people that got fucked by that.
Yeah. No, actually, for sure. I mean, there is a couple, one of my alliance that now can't send, you know. Oh.
Well, if we break it down to just monetary value, obviously the money that people were coining to go against the players that were doing chargebacks, obviously wasn't enough to justify. Because
Right.
if you were
Right.
having people do this and driving spending, which we've seen them do it in the past, it's
Right.
they
Right.
would fix it.
It would if that greater spending, if it caused that greater spending, you let it go.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you? Of course. I mean,
That's
there's
right.
been many instances over the years that many things have been let go because I think it generated income. I mean,
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we'll go on to the what their solutions are. So the implementation would look like this. So in June, the targets will be assault. The season will end and we'll have a whole stories as usual. In this event, you'll be able to get one new skirmish hull with build time significantly lower than what they have. In July, the top tiers will be skirmish, but assault targets will remain prominently in the raid, and a supplementary hull will be released. So this will be significantly cheaper than the hull released in June and would serve a specialised purpose. Then when we get to, I know, right? Then when we get to August, like the previous months, the top targets will be skirmish, but assault targets will remain prominently in the raid, and then a siege hull will be released. And then in September, the top targets will be siege, but skirmish targets, blah, 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 blah. So, I don't know.
We're going to give you a supplementary hull that takes lesser time to do, but we're going to give it to you a month late.
Yeah.
right. So can we skip, if we don't want the supplementary, could we skip July? I mean, is that what we're saying?
Pretty
There'd
much.
be something else in there, wouldn't there?
Oh,
They'd always put something else in, yeah.
I'm sure they'll stick something else in there that you'll have to get.
Something defender or attacking hull, or turret or
Or
something.
some key limited tech that you need for your ship for the next raid. Since that seems to be the road that we like to roll down at the moment.
It says they'd
The
like
thing
to
is,
hear about that.
as you read
Yeah.
that, it's a 2-month cycle, yeah. You've got 1 month to build the supplementary hull, yeah.
But technically, it's a 3-month cycle, but you only have top targets for the new premium hull in 2 of the 3 months.
Correct.
And they're still saying well, I guess it's semantics and it's how you read it, but it still seems like there would be, 2 top targets, because that would be the other way to solve this, is just to make 1 top target. There's so many other solutions to the problems that they've created, and it's, I don't know. I don't know why.
Dude, it's so simple. The first raid, you make the top targets doable by 3 boats. The
Right.
second raid, you make the top targets done by a full fleet. The third raid, you make the top targets done by the full fleet with all the bells and whistles. It's that fucking simple.
Yeah.
No way. You just solved it. Let me.
Yeah,
I gotta write it down.
And
No
I
way.
didn't whiteboard in 57 hours of meetings to do it either.
That's
I
crazy.
I think the problem is, though, that you're too emotional, Damnation. So
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's the problem.
And really, what would be what's keeping them from really doing that? I mean, really, what do you think is? Because I don't know what's keeping them from really doing the logical, sensible, correct move just like that. What would
They're based in California.
No, it's simpler than that. It's greed. Greed is what's keeping them from doing that.
Okay, but wouldn't that still generate income and possibly more, because more players would be able to participate?
But the greedy person's mind doesn't see it that way.
Mm.
The greedy person mind sees I have to milk every little bit what I can right now.
See, I don't see how they don't see this. And I really do think that they're missing it.
But they've been missing it for years.
Intentional to miss, you know, unless it's an intentional miss.
They've been missing it for years. That's been the point.
Yeah, I know, but we're not that dumb, you know, and they're not dumb people either. So, you know what I mean? So,
well, and no, you can't say they've been missing it for years, honestly, because I can remember a time in this game where you could do top targets with not having a full fleet and a flag.
yes, correct.
During the raid. I can remember many raids like that.
Yes. So,
well, yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is they're missing it for years. Is that, you know, we told them years ago is like, you know, McDonald's are successful because they sell a cheap product compared to any other restaurant, and most other restaurants, yeah. So they sell a lot and it's cheap, rather than trying to be a specialist restaurant where you only take the wife out on the anniversary, you know.
Well, part of the problem with that though is it's not like Kickseye has the same market base that McDonald's does.
Yeah,
Kickseye,
but
Kickseye doesn't serve 3 billion people a day,
and they never will with the way they work.
They never could, and they never would.
But they had a much bigger player base, a lot of which could afford to make small transactions, you know, and they would have kept those. And more players making small transactions makes for a much livelier world. You know what I mean? Yeah, much livelier comms, just everything. You know, it's more diversity, more players to play against, rather than the same players hitting each other day in, day out.
Well, that's true. But
you end up with.
Unfortunately, we can't go backwards in time.
No, but this is where I'm saying that they've been missing it.
And we're at a point now where they don't have enough customers to survive on microtransactions.
Yeah, exactly, because they've been missing it for years. You know, because they hadn't done that in the past. They hadn't implemented it correctly in the past because they got greedy back then. You know, and now they've got to be even more greedy with the remaining client base they've got.
So that's really what we're saying.
And real quick, to send me Dino in chat. No, you've been able to do top tier targets with not a full fleet for way more recently than the Seawolf era. Sorry, go ahead.
So what we are saying is it's the number of players left that the microtransactions aren't satisfying to the game team any longer. That's what the real answer then is why they can't. It's the small transactions aren't enough any longer for the game team.
Correct.
Okay, so that's the. I mean that straight up is the straightforward answer. That prior, I believe that those smaller transactions were enough to keep them happy, and now
they painted themselves into the corner. You know, where they've now got to go along this path to keep the game sustainable. For what they, you know, for the overheads that they want, or you know, the money they expect to get a return from. You know.
Well, I hope it works for them because I'm still here. You know, I'm not going to do their multiple supplementary hauls and things like that because it doesn't sound like fun straight from the release in this alone drives me away. I got to tell you, Golden Doodle. So your post alone will keep me from doing it for sure. I don't understand it. I don't like the whole release. I think it's just kind of another. I don't know. I come along, follow here, follow over here. So I don't get it. Why not make your players happy for at least a month? Give them a month. Let's pick a month. Make them happy. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, that's the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'd go further. Let's have a season where we have happy players.
Wouldn't that be? I mean, I really look forward to 1 month this year. A really great month would be a great month would be sweet. So I think they owe it to the players that have been around with 8 years and stuff. Give us a good month out of this year.
Yeah. Well, see, the other.
You must have had some real good shit before we went live.
Well, you know what I mean? I'm serious. We're almost halfway through the year, and we're bumming. We're still bumming, and it's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah. Because, of course, the other problem with all this is that it doesn't include any FM fleets, anything else that you might want to tinker with, that you haven't quite finished off, that you might have some time to do something with. You're not going to be able to stack tokens. You're not going to be able to do, it's basically saying that every single part of your shipyard time is going to be involved in a raid building fleet, a fleet being able to do the raid. So when are we supposed to do our other stuff? Because there won't be any time to do it.
Well, this is the pressure that they mentioned the other week, that pressure. Now, that pressure is the pressure to spend a bit of money to speed up your fleet to get things done because you feel you need to have it done. That's it. They always have to. If there's no pressure on players, they won't spend money, and if they're not spending money, they're not making any. Now, even though we'd all love to be able to play this game for nothing, you know what I mean? Of course we would. But from their perspective, they always have to put that pressure on us, because that's.
And see, this is where I think you're wrong in your line of logic, because nobody is asking to play this game for free. What we're asking is not to have to mortgage our fucking house to keep up. That's what we're asking.
Yeah. That's why I was going back originally when it could. Obviously, they painted themselves into the corner now, but they had the opportunity to do that years ago when they had 100,000 players, and now and now they've taken it down to a small player base. They have to try and rinse more out of us that have been loyal and actually been stuck with them. So yeah, I'm not happy with it either. I'm not happy with it because they're trying to get more out of us every time.
Well, the interesting thing with this is that if they implement it the way that they say they're going to implement it, they got me to spend the $20 for the 26 days worth of tokens to make sure my nemmies were done. I would have no need or desire to do that because I would just say, okay, well, I know there's no way that I'm going to be able to, to achieve it. So I'm just going to grind out on lower targets. So they've just cut their nose off to spite their face because I know that I can't do it, or I choose not to. So therefore, this makes the choice even clearer for me, and I just get what I get. And if I fall behind, I fall behind because. That's the way that I've chosen to play. So, and with the community feeling the way it is, can they afford to do that?
Now, okay, counterpoint.
Mm-hmm.
On the last deals, they were, as I said last week, they were much more reasonable than we've seen.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind paying £8.07 to get a fleet that could then afterwards virtually do the raid for free. So from my perspective, it even only got me to spend some money. It got the fleet done, and I think that's kind of what they're looking at. You're not going to get that the main fleet done in time, but then they might throw that deal at you. As long as it's a reasonable deal, a lot of people will take it. So long as it's a $10 or $20, no more than that, a lot of people might take that because then they have got the better fleet. They will be able to do their raid faster and better with lower damage, and they can see some value in there. That's their business tactic, and from a player, it's up to you whether you see value in that or not.
Yeah, but that's not a counterpoint to what I said. It's saying the same thing. Because why would I bother? I would be happy to take that deal, knowing that it's within my budget. I can see value in it. I was happy to do that. There were a lot of people that were happy to do that, judging from what I've seen. So why fuck with it?
Yeah,
We're saying
it
the
wasn't.
same thing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it just was a much. It was a much better deal last time than we've seen in the past. I mean, some of them have just been, well, you know, they wanted $100 here and or whatever, and
I think the problem, though, by depending upon those deals all the time, is suddenly now you've gone to a not pay to win format, but a pay to even play format.
Oh, I think we're there. I think we're going to get a $20 offer every month. This is Kickside. We've had it twice now. You don't, and it worked. You know, they're not. I just don't. I think we're going to see it magically appear when in times of distress.
Well, and to me, that's actually, you know, it's not the way I want to go, but I guess if I see value in it at the particular time,
right?
You know, it is what it is. But then, why would you say what we get a $5 deal or a $10 deal for the supplementary fleet? It just doesn't make any sense. It's like it's like it's upsetting the apple cart just because we want to fuck with you, and I just don't get it.
RBF just said something great in chat that I think is very appropriate. These deals are actually kind of becoming your raid entry fee.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to participate and successfully in this raid, you have to pay us this much money.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I could do the raid before I paid the £8.07, but it would have cost me a lot more money to do the raid and damage undertaken. So it wasn't, you know, I could have done it, but this allowed me to do it for free afterwards. Even though, of course, again, as I say again, I paid up front. So it's kind of an entry fee, but then after it's kind of an all-you-can-eat buffet. You know what I mean? So, you know.
But you had already paid up front to have the fleet done in the first place. Why should you have to pay up front again?
Yeah, I think it will. Yeah, I just think that this will generate less spending, not more spending.
I don't think they get their business model from the same places as the ones I've seen, though. In all honesty, so I just don't know. Seriously, they don't follow the norm.
It's certainly not the business model I used when I had my store.
No, I've had several businesses. They just don't follow them. They don't follow them at all. They don't even try. It's just a different kind of company.
Yeah, I know. If you was running a bar and it was £4 a pint, and people started leaving, and you started charging the last few customers £20 a pint, you know what I mean, or $20 a pint, you know what I mean?
Beat your ass.
Yeah, because you got to make up for the customers you've lost, you know, right?
Right. Well, that's the good thing about the internet. You know, then they're just they can. Yeah, never mind. Won't go there. But yeah, at least activity level in the game for me is going down. Just lack of enjoyment. So that's the truth. It's not the lack of friends; they're still here. Lack of enjoyment. I'm not finding a whole lot of enjoyment in the new targets released, in the new games. I like the new artwork. So other than that, not very good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to say I've kind of enjoyed these raid targets. I kind of think that they're kind of interesting. They've found a bit of enjoyment out of it. So this is kind of my game. I don't worry about PvP unless it's bounty, and even then I'm hitting replica bases because I'm not going to give them money to hit bases. I've worked that out years ago. It's just not the way I play. So I see the same groups hitting each other all the time, and they're obviously generating coin in the way that they're just coining repairs on the map. So there's obviously still money out there. So I just don't see why you would alienate people even further. So
yeah, well, obviously I'm in one of those groups, and sort of there's us R1 and there's DDNA in our section as well, which we can bounce off each other. I think we've got, there's obviously lots of other major groups that we're sort of always fighting around with at the same time. And we do coin repairs on the map, and yeah, it can be an ego thing as well. But this week, I mean, I've found myself like Ross said, I've found myself playing less. I've actually, yeah, I don't know, just getting fed up with things.
I have BPL and GIMPs in the same sector with me.
Oh yeah, we've got BPL as well because
hang
you're in
on,
the stone world.
let Ross finish.
And I choose to go fishing. No, that's the truth. 8 years hooked on this game. I fight these guys for 8 years. They're all in my sector. It's quiet as hell, and I'm going fishing. That's how it is. BP 2019.
And of course, you would much rather be on comms, having a blast, hitting these people over and over and over again, and shit talking with each other and having a great time, right?
Indeed, I really would. I mean, with the game running smooth, I'm serious.
Making it very questionable comments at times.
Very exact, borderline, walking the line, but exactly. And engaging, and look at the clock and go, oh my God, I was supposed to do that 3 hours ago. You've been sitting in a chair for 4 hours. That stuff happened all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't. Yeah.
I remember one more target, now I'm going to bed. One more target, now I'm going to bed. One more target, now I'm going to bed. 3 hours later, son of a bitch.
Exactly. They had that. They had that engagement. They did. So I just wish they could do it. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we talk about this game because we enjoy it and we want it to succeed, and we want, I think no one, I won't say that because I'm sure we all do. With Kixeye, it's a love-hate relationship, and it is what it is. But we want to play this game and we want to enjoy it and we want to have fun, and we're prepared to look past its shortcomings if we're having fun. But if we're not having fun, the shortcomings, you're less prepared to accept them. You're less prepared to deal with a flash crash. How many times have people seen, oh, my game's crashed. Quick, I've got to get back into the game. It's like, now it's like, well, yeah, whatever.
Piss off, put it on repair and go to bed. Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was funny, RB, how you said you went back and saw like some of the first Battle Vortex shows that I was on, and you were like, "My God, were you positive about this game?"
He was.
Yeah, I mean, I was, and honestly, I think I held it together fairly well up until like I don't know, probably like the last 9-10 months. I think last 9-10 months, it's just been terrible.
Yeah. And I just don't think that they can continue on with this way unless, their goal is to just run it into the ground and say, oh, well, December the 30th, thanks very much for playing. See you later.
And that's the thing. They won't make an announcement. They won't do anything. You'll just log in one day and the game will be gone. And you won't hear a word from them.
Yeah.
Because that's how they did Backyard Monsters. They just, one day you just logged in and they had stopped supporting everything and didn't do any more updates and didn't do anything, but you never heard any kind of communication from them about it.
Well, I will say that I would be very unhappy to have put all this development time into a Kingdom game to find that Game of Thrones trumped them, and I don't know if their game's going to be as popular as they thought it might be. But anyway, never mind. All right, I reckon we've been talking long enough. Has anyone got any final things they want to talk about?
Put upgrades in the research lab, damn it.
You mean the retro lab?
Yep.
Well, they might find they have to if they go down this path.
And you say you're going to lower times and then you add 55 extra days on the fleet. Fuck that. Put it in the retro lab where it's supposed to go. Quit being ignorant. That's my peeve.
Stop making me refit my fleet like 7 times during the course of a raid cycle. That's my real big beef at the moment.
Mm.
Every 2 weeks, oh, here's a new piece of limited tag. Oh, here's a new piece of limited tag. Oh, here's a new piece of limited tag. I mean, fuck, come on, man.
Well, you know, we took our fleets to U3 in the last raid, you know, so we've got one more.
I didn't.
Okay, those of us that did. You know, and so where are we going from there? You know, the next raid, as we say, we don't know yet, you know.
Well, I've been having a hard time working on the damn raid fleet just because I'm trying to upgrade my freaking FM fleet. Jesus.
I did my FM this week with what's it, icebreakers again. You know, and it's just on auto while I was doing on another screen.
Well, they say the upgrades don't matter, but I'm down to like 9 to 11 minutes for a 120 with my FM fleet, and I'm only running 3 ships. So, I mean, to say that the upgrades are not needed, you know, is a farce.
Well, they work. I mean, but it depends. Why there's still other stuff out there on the map. You know, that it's not the only option. And it depends how much seat time you've got. I'm fortunate that I'm at home most of the day, so you know I can have a couple of screens running. I can do one on auto and get other things done. But that's obviously it's not an option for everybody. You know what I mean?
I think all those people who have been milking icebreakers for the last 2 years, though, are probably going to be in for a rude awakening coming up pretty shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I only dropped back down to the ice makers, the icebreakers. Sorry.
Well, I'm not talking about just you specifically. I mean, I know there's people out there like who haven't really even built dragons because they've been, you know, milking those icebreakers for all they're worth. And I'm here to tell you, man, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to suddenly there's not going to be any targets for you to throw those icebreakers to hit. So I would really, really start looking at other options.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I didn't have my dragons.
Go on.
I didn't have my dragons upgraded because I was still working on the bloody Saturns. So I had to fall back to the icebreakers because it was the only viable option. After they'd done that other like rebalancing again, where all of a sudden the dragons were taking a hell of a lot more damage, but the icebreakers were doing it for free. And I thought, you know what, you know. So when we talk about money and stuff like that, I go, okay, I'll take the slow option and I will play this part of the game for free. You know, I'm not going to, use the dragons and feel that I might have to repair them or coin them because they're taking that much damage, you know. But I say, unfortunately, I could sit there for enough time and obviously do that on auto. But I have started refitting the dragons. I've got I've got the lead up to U3, is it whatever it is? Yeah. But now I've started working on the new Praetorians, you know, because obviously I don't want to fall too far behind with them before we end up with a new raid fleet coming out.
Well, yeah, I mean, your whole shipyard's going to be filled with just raid building fleets anyway, so you're going to have to get your FM fleet sorted out, and you're going to have to get it sorted out damn fast. So,
who's fully expecting once the Praetorian FM target actually comes out that the Praetorians won't be able to hit 120s and 121s, since people are able to auto those targets for like map repair with one node?
Yep.
who almost can guarantee there's going to be a restriction set in place.
Well, for sure,
Oh.
for sure, they're totally going to be restricted. And to think that it wouldn't be is silliness.
Well, I mean, they did it to the Dragons. I mean, you can't hit the 111s.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you know they're going to do the same thing. And then they're also going to up the point recommendation, or what you need for points, because they're going to unlock that 6 and 7 in your prize list.
Oh yeah.
You know? I mean, it's beyond ridiculous in that respect.
Well, if they
But us addicts will be here still, fucking mogging through, bitching about it the whole way.
Very true.
That's very true. I mean, if they do that, and the 6 and 7 weren't just there for shits and giggles, those targets are going to have to be worth, 1.5, maybe 2 million points a hit. So, of course you're going to get damage on them. You're not going to on Praetorians, and you're not going to be able to use the Praetorians in anything else. It's it's so obvious. They've done it again and again and again. So why would they change it?
I just figured I'd throw that out there so people will be ready for it when it happens.
Yeah. I was going to say before, I know of a certain player who's got 5 fleets of icebreakers, but
Yeah.
anyway, never mind. All right, well, things are getting noisy here, so obviously my family has decided to wake up and start making lots of noise. So I'm going to call it there. So, I guess be ready for Bounty next week. And good luck for everyone who's ranking their fleets.
Oh, yeah. Don't we get 2 new boats in Bounty?
Yep.
So there you go.
Oh, God.
I know, right?
Oh yeah.
And a whole new hull class.
Yeah. Gosh.
Well, that was
Intercept.
the drawing board like 3 months ago, so who knows what they're doing from now.
Mm.
They might change course yet again. So.
All right.
Just think that soundbite. Oh God. That was just good. That was good. That tickled me.
It's going to go viral.
Oh, God.
Very good. All right. Well, I'm going to say goodbye, everyone. So good luck. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. If you liked the video, feel free. The page is still going. There's still lots of information that's being put up there, so certainly check in. And I guess I will put the link in the chat as well. Why the hell not? And then I'll say see you all later. So see you all later.
Laters, peoples.
Later.
Goodbye, everyone.
Later, have a good one.
Bye, everyone.
Game of Thrones winter is coming.
Okay, hey, what is this Game of Thrones winner?